This is your first time ever coming to Disneyland, start with this video. I'm going to walk you through the things that you should know, where they're located, and how to have a really easy and the best day ever. So I've had a Disney Pass for some years now, and it's second nature to me, but I realized that these are things that I would have wanted to know the first time I ever came to Disneyland. So come with me as we check it out. Immediately upon entrance, you'll come in and you'll see the iconic Mickey flower display here. Right now it's the 70th celebration. You can also get in line. There are lines on both sides that you can get in, and you can have one of the Disneyland professional photographers take your pictures of you and your family, or just you, and it will show up in your Disneyland app. You'll find that under the photo category, and they will walk you through it and show you everything, exactly where to find it. Sometimes it's included with your ticket. Sometimes there are promotions, but sometimes you will have to pay an additional fee for the Disney Photo Pass. So immediately after entering, you're going to start seeing merch everywhere. So they have these really cute, iconic Minnie Mouse ears. And if you notice at the beginning, I have mine. They've lasted me quite a while. They are $36.99 right now as of the making of this video. And if you have a pass, like a season pass, which they call Magic Key passes, then it's actually a discount. Depending on your pass, it can be between 10 to 20% discount. Once you come inside, you'll notice that you have a little City Hall building here. That City Hall building is really important if you're traveling with small kids. That is where you're going to be able to relocate them and let them know at the beginning. That's where they go if they're lost. That is the lost and found. Right above the Mickey flowers, you'll see the train. You can see it. Not sure if the sound will pick it up because I do have a noise canceling mic on, but this will give you a ride around the perimeter of the park. So if you want to get to a world that is, or land that's on the other side, that's the train that you'll want to take. And as soon as you enter, this is Main Street, the famous Main Street. You do want to watch where you're walking. As you see, there are train tracks. There are different vehicles that come and take you around. You do not have to walk everywhere. You do have to do a lot of walking, but you don't have to walk everywhere because there are trains and things that will give you a ride. You can see this one is a horse-drawn carriage, which you can pretty much just hop on. Surprisingly, they're not super crowded. So as you can see, there are going to be photo ops everywhere, and about every 20 to 30 minutes, you'll also have characters come out. Characters will come out to take pictures with. There's a line, and of course, because they're in the hot costumes, they can't really be out for hours at a time. So they do go in every 20 to 30 minutes, and they will close the line off, but they're really good about letting you know when it'll open again. This is where you will find the iconic Mr. Lincoln presentation during February, during Black History Month. It does change to a Frederick Douglass presentation. But we're going to continue down Main Street and get to all the good stuff. So as we really get into Main Street, you'll see the gift emporium. That's going to be the best place to go to get any gifts and souvenirs that you want to get in Disneyland. If you're looking for merch and paraphernalia, or, well, not paraphernalia, but merch and things that you can wear, wearable items, are going to be more so on the right side. So you can get a little history of Disney there, starting with like the Steamboat Willie stuff, and get a real history of it. But as you go down, you'll also notice there's tea and coffee, aka it's a Starbucks if you look closely. As you can see, Main Street is very clean. The whole park is extremely clean. People are working 24/7 to keep it that way. There's a cafe, little ice cream shop in there. And I'll actually go inside so you guys can see, but all of these shops are connected. Let's go. So this is where people will gather because Main Street is also where the parade will run. It'll run up and down Main Street. So check your apps for parade times. They don't always run every single day at the same time. So as you can see, if we go inside of this shop, it connected to the ice cream parlor. They have some really, really yummy looking desserts there. I'll slow down so you can see them. And this is a sweets shop, so they pretty much just have everything you can imagine sweet. There is some construction going on, so some of the areas are kind of closed off, which they normally would not be, but right now they are. And it takes you out and you end up at this little cafe here. This one is a bakery, actually. I actually just had a ham and cheese croissant, or a bacon and cheese and egg croissant there. And right across there is a great place to have your breakfast or your lunch. So if you do decide to have breakfast, I'll walk over so you can get closer. If you decide to have breakfast at this location, it is at this time, the time of me filming it, May 2026. It's $55 for adults and $30 for kids, but this is a character breakfast location within the park. This one is a Minnie Mouse breakfast. I haven't actually seen this one before, so I think it's newer. We did a Goofy's Kitchen one a few months back for my daughter's birthday, but when you come to the Plaza Inn, you can look either in the app or the website. The app is probably a little bit easier, but you will get to see Minnie and friends at this location. There's stroller parking along the outside of most of the restaurants. And I want to just take you to the center point because it's very important. As you can see, the cafe, the Jolly Holly Cafe is right over there. So if we're standing right here, we're looking at the Jolly Holly Cafe. Let's get a little bit closer so that you can really see. If you're coming and you want to go to certain things, very specific things, remember the castle. You can't miss it. It's going to be straight ahead. There's always a photographer here, or usually a photographer here, that's going to take photos of you and your group right in front of the Walt and Mickey statue, and you'll also get that castle in the background. Now, this is the center. So as we just use that cafe, the Holly Jolly Cafe as a reference point, and you'll have Adventureland that is right next to it. That's the entrance. That's where you're going to find rides like Jungle Cruise and Pirates of the Caribbean. And then this is going to be Frontierland. Let me try to get closer so you can see that's Frontierland over there. So the entrances are right next door to each other. So Frontierland, Adventureland. And remember, going by the castle over here, this is going to be the entrance to Fantasyland, and just going right over here to the right, that's going to be your entrance to Tomorrowland. So let's go inside of them so you can get a peek. Now remember, Tomorrowland is right next to that Plaza Inn cafe that you can have lunch or character breakfast with Minnie at. So you're going to walk right in. But if you look in between the character breakfast at Plaza and Tomorrowland, there's actually restrooms over there. So that's great to know. So once you come into Tomorrowland, you'll start to see some of the iconic rides that you've seen and heard of over the years. You're going to have Star Tours here, but this is not Star Wars Land. So that's really important to note the difference. Star Wars Land is where you're going to find the whole land that looks exactly like you're in a Star Wars film. This is not that, but it's a great ride as well. Ooh, and it's only a 5-minute ride. I think I'm actually going to hop on. Okay, so I did hop on for a bit, and anytime you can find a Disney ride that's 5 minute wait, you have to take that opportunity. But as soon as you come out, you'll still be in Tomorrowland. You'll just be a little bit further down. And if you see that rocket ship straight ahead, that's actually where Planet Pizza is. I know Planet Pizza is pretty popular with a lot of people. A lot of people have the shirts. It, I believe, is from Toy Story, the Toy Story movies. So, Planet Pizza is one of my favorite spots, not necessarily for the food, but because I like to take a refillable water bottle and you can just go in and get ice and you can get water from the vending machine that's already filtered. And I really like it for that reason. And as you can see, it was right next to Hyperspace Mountain. Hyperspace Mountain, it does offer a single rider line, so that's always a great thing as well. Whenever you can get those single rider lines and your party is small enough to take advantage of those. But as you continue to walk around Tomorrowland, you are going to come up to the Star Wars Launch Bay, which is a vacation club members only. So I've never been inside of there, but to your left, directly across from the vacation club, is going to be the Galactic Galaxy Diner. So you can get things like burgers, chicken tenders, and drinks. There's also a water fill station, but they don't have self-service ice, so it's going to be more like the room temperature water that you'd get from a water fountain. Right here to the right, this is where you're going to find Autopia. Autopia was originally built to be those futuristic cars, those little Honda race cars. They are not so futuristic looking anymore, but they're still great. And up top, you have the monorail. So, the monorail is a key staple at Disneyland, and that you can actually take it from one of the entrances in the downtown Disney area. And just below that rail, you'll actually see the Nemo ride. So the Nemo ride is really cute. We'll circle around and take a look at it. But if you look at this little stage area here next to the Galactic Galaxy Diner, this is where they do some dance parties and other little entertainment for kids from time to time. They don't do them as often as they used to, but keep an eye. And if they say that it's near that galactic galaxy, that's where it is. This is going to be your Finding Nemo ride. It's pretty fun. You get into this submarine and you go around this little bay area, and the interactive little things that are down there are very cute. You'll recognize them from different movies, and yeah, they're pretty cute. So if you walk along the back side of the Matterhorn, there are a couple of things that you should take note of. If you're coming to Disneyland, especially if it's a special event and you want to do face painting, this is where you're going to find the face painters. So this is something we do annually once a year. On my daughter's birthday, we do the face painting, and right behind it, that was Pixie Hollow, where you'll find Tinkerbell. From time to time, she's in there. It's actually to the left of where I'm walking right now. As I head to the castle, that is where you'll find Pixie Hollow. There are usually a couple little pixies back there, but you can take pictures with Tinkerbell when she's there throughout the day, and it's very similar to the characters up front. The characters up front are not there constantly, but they come in and go out, and that's the exact entrance if you're interested and you are looking for it. Now let's circle back to the castle. This castle is actually Snow White's castle, and you can actually go inside of it. So, just on the back side, you'll actually have a little entrance that you can see. I will warn that if you have very small kids, it's pretty dark. My daughter's not a fan of it. She's all for a scary ride and thrills, but it's the darkness that isn't so great for her. But if you do want to go inside, it is a possibility you don't make it all the way to the very top. I have heard that the very top is rented out sometimes, like a hotel room, sometimes when people have weddings at the park. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is what the lore is. Now, immediately as we get into Fantasyland, you see all these strollers. That's because this is where you're going to stay most of the time if you're coming with a child, especially under 5 or 6 years old. This is where you'll want to be. And if you have a daughter, this is where she'll want to be. This is the Bippity Boppity Boutique. I'm sure you've seen the girls who get all dressed up, they get their hair done, their makeup done, and they have a beautiful dress with accessories. Well, this is where they're getting them. They do have different options for dresses. I believe there are 3 levels of dresses, and the higher the tier of dress, the better the quality is of that dress. And they do have things for boys, so it was important for me to show they don't have tons of things for boys, but they do have some. So this is just a small section, and there were a few other things. And it's a little bit pricey, but you can check the website for the prices. Again, there are 3 different tiers. So they start off, with the lowest price and they go up from there, but it's a full spa like experience. And as we continue through, this is where you'll find the oldest rides in the park. And while these older rides are pretty cool to look at and experience, if you're going with older kids, they probably won't care all that much about these rides because they are slow. I will warn though, if you go with really small kids, some of these rides are a bit dark and scary, and the undertone of these rides are a little creepy. The Pinocchio ride, not a big fan of it to go on with kids. Mr. Toad always has a really long ride line, which if you find it and it's short, do it. Pinocchio, yeah, it's pretty dark. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But one of our go to old faithful is going on the carousel. Going on King Arthur's carousel has never let us down. It's a carousel, you don't expect too much out of it, but what I always get from it is a very short line and it's easy to get on with a small child, and that makes it all worth it. Right across from King Arthur's Carousel, you'll find Casey's Train, and that's a very old Disney movie. Not sure if you've ever seen it, and it's pretty mellow. The Dumbo ride is always a long wait. And again, if you're waiting in these lines or if it's super hot, you can see the carousel there. There's no line. I've never waited more than 10 minutes for the carousel. I can't guarantee that you won't, but that's always been my experience. So as we continue through Storybook Land, there are a couple of things to note. Oh, there goes Mary Poppins. You can walk towards the whale, and if there's any hat you're looking for, check out that Mad Hatter shop, especially if it's graduation time or Christmas time and they have seasonal items that you're having a hard time finding. That's also the place that you'll go if you want something embroidered. Another great ride when going with small children is the teacup ride. Alice in Wonderland's teacup ride is usually a pretty good ride when you're looking for a short line, and because you control how much that ride spins, it's pretty good when you're going with little kids. You just don't have to spin it so much. And as we continue through Fantasyland and walk towards It's a Small World, there is one path. You'll just continue to take it straight to the back, and it's going to take you to the It's a Small World ride. As you walk past, you will find a bunch of different vendors on the sides, and just keep in mind this is also the parade route. So if you want to catch a parade and you want a good spot, this is a great place to sit on the side and hang out until that parade starts. It's a Small World is iconic. I'm sure you've seen it before. If even if you've never been to the park, you've heard of it. During the holidays, it does change, and sometimes in the evenings, there are different shows that are projected onto it. I know I've seen an Encanto one, and I've seen a different one recently, and it's pretty cool to see. It's not super spectacular, but it is an interesting sight to see. And as you continue to the very back towards Toontown, you are going to pass by a little open air theater to your left. Had we gone to the left, that is where they're doing the Bluey show right now. So it's like a live action Bluey essentially. But as you get into Toontown, you see the train from the very beginning of the video. It circles all the way back around. So if you don't feel like walking through all of the people and all of the lands, you can just hop on that train and it will bring you to the back and you can just hop off here and now you're in Toontown. But as you walk in Toontown, you may have noticed there were tons of strollers. That's because Toontown is specifically made for small children. Toontown is made for children, I would say no older than 8. You can, of course, enjoy Toontown if you're older, but this is where you're going to come when you're with babies and you want things that are just easy and accessible with minimal weight and fun. Just take a look at how cute and fun and inviting everything looks. Runaway Railway is one of the newer rides, and I would consider it a kid version of Rise of the Resistance, the Star Wars ride. It's essentially the exact same mechanism that operates it, and it's just a kid version, which is really cool. There's even the little water fountain there where kids can play and even splash in it a bit. I saw Pete, and I've never seen him before, so that was pretty cool. And this little area, this Goofy's row yard, how to row yard, take your kids there. When your kids are restless, when you're frustrated because it's hot and the lines are long, this is my go to. When my daughter was little, we went here and spent so much time. There are slides, there are playhouses, there's a crazy wonky little bridge that makes noise. There's so much to do and see here. It's basically a park. It's just a regular outdoor playground. And sometimes less is more. There are two sides to it. Kids are just having fun. There are, characters that make their appearances. And there's even the second side, but again, there's no wait. The longest wait you're going to have is waiting in line to go down the slide. But other than that, it's just a lot of fun. There are a lot of grassy knolls. Kids can just run and play in this area. Those are the restrooms there. And right next to the restrooms, you're gonna have Minnie's house, which I didn't even know Minnie had a house. I visited Disneyland a few times before realizing, and then Mickey's house. And the cool thing about it is there are times on there as if it's a ride, but those times are just showing you how long until you actually get to Minnie or Mickey. So they're each in their respective homes, and once you get to them, you're able to take pictures with them, and they're typically dressed in their classic outfits. I can head in here really quick and show you guys what Mickey's house looks like. Mickey's house and Minnie's house are pretty cool. You can't pick anything up, but everything is very picturesque. So you can take pictures with anything in the house, either sitting on it or standing next to it. The items are pretty heavy duty, so don't worry about breaking anything. The chairs are hard. Everything is hard. You can't get too comfortable, but you can use it as a quick photo op. And that's just a quick snippet, but there's so much more to Mickey's house. His is a lot bigger than Minnie's house, but both of them are really fun. And there are some interactive things that you can do in each of the houses. Like in Minnie's house, you can start the dishwasher, and I think you can bake like muffins or cookies or something and watch them bake. And as you go to the back here, there is a small roller coaster, which I thought was pretty cool. I've actually never been on this roller coaster because this roller coaster tends to have quite a long wait time considering you're there with such small kids. I've never been with a small kid that had enough patience to wait in that line. I think the line was about 40 minutes at the time that I filmed this. So even I didn't have the patience to wait and decided that I wanted to continue my video instead. I found this little area that I never knew was there, which is basically just like a space where you can sit, you can put the kids down, they can kind of run around, and you can sit in the shade. It's not air conditioned, but it is out of the way of the direct sunlight, which is really, really nice. And just as we circle back, those are the restrooms, and there's a water fill station there as well. It's the one that's similar to a water fountain, so it doesn't have an ice machine with it. But right next to it, there are the restaurants that are located in Toontown. There are a couple of restaurants to choose from. These are also the types of restaurants that you can do the ordering ahead in the app, so feel free to do that. You can pause at any point if you're wondering what the names of these restaurants are. I haven't actually eaten at these, so I can't vouch for them, but I can say that Disneyland has some of the best food that I've ever had. The chefs are absolutely amazing. Toward the back of the eating area, it's just so many cute photo ops. Make sure that you have plenty of space on your phone, or if you're getting a digital camera or something, make sure there's plenty of space on that memory card. There's so much to see. And as you continue to go through, a lot of people forget, but Roger Rabbit is actually a Disney film. It's an old Disney film, but they have a little Roger Rabbit ride over here, as well as a silly little area that you can kind of play in. And as you can see, even that little gel, it has like rubber bars, so you can walk right in, right out. It's impossible to get stuck in there because, as you can see, it's wide open, but it's a really cute photo op. This whole area is great for photos and great for letting your kids just completely run wild and not feeling bad for it. This is an excellent area. I can't express enough. Let your kids run around and let yourself get peace of mind. Keep in mind that at Disneyland, you are not forced to buy the food that they have there. You can always come in with food items that you've packed before if you want to bring in your food, like your sandwiches or drinks, whatever. Highly recommend it. Make sure you fill your bags with snacks. And as we exit Toontown, that is where the Bluey area is. Now, let's go back to the front and start at Frontierland. So, if we're back at the center, we go to Frontierland and we walk in. This is what we can expect. Frontierland looks like the old West. If you've ever been to Knott's Berry Farm, it always reminds me of that. It's the Old West look, and there are some games and things that you can play. This is almost the only area in the park where you'll actually find games that you pay to play. There are some in Disneyland California as well, over in Pixar Pier, but in Disneyland, this is pretty much the only place that you see that. If you're a big fan of Encanto, like I am, you can find the Madrigals right here. They are only painted on. I actually have never seen any of the Madrigals in the park, unfortunately, but that's a really cute space to take pictures, and the restaurant there is great. And to the right is going to be Big Thunder Mountain, which is more of a roller coaster. It's a little bit more fast paced and maybe not for the super little kids, although my 5-year-old does like it. And straight ahead, that was the Mark Twain boat ride that you can do that takes you around this body of water. This body of water is actually a very big key player in your fun day at Disney. So let me tell you a little bit about it. As you can see, there's like a little island on the other side of it. That island is actually Tom Sawyer Island, and it is accessible. There are canoes that run throughout the day that can take you over to that island and back. That island is pretty much just filled with fun. It's just a lot of like running, ducking in little caves inside of the mountain side, and all that sort of stuff that you can do and let the kids just burn off some energy. Very similar vibe to Toontown, except the kids are bigger and adults. I've done it myself. And you can also do the canoe rides within that same body of water, and that's also where you'll find Fantasmic in the evening. On the nights Fantasmic plays, there are typically 2 showings, so check your app for details. Now, if we just circle back around here, I just did this really quick to show you that the Adventureland that was right next to Frontierland, this is where it will take you. Now, of course, this is where you're going to find things like that big tree house, which is pretty iconic and has been around in Disneyland for years. as well as Jungle Cruise and Indiana Jones ride are located there. Now, as you walk out, you're going to see the Pirates of the Caribbean to your left. Remember, if you're keeping the water to your right, you'll just continue to circle around, and that's where you'll find the French Quarters, New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans, but it looks just like all the movies I've ever seen. They did such a great job, as with most things at Disneyland. They do such a great job, but there are restaurants that you can eat at. And this is an area where people will even kind of stand and hang out and watch Fantasmic. If you want to watch the shows, the parades, the fireworks, any of that, I always suggest getting there a bit early. There are people that get there hours before in order to secure a spot. Also, this is going to be Tiana's bakery, I mean, sorry, Tiana's restaurant here to the left. So keep that in mind. They have great jambalaya, great gumbo. So you are going to want to order from there. You can order ahead in the app or go in person. And it's more of a buffet style like restaurant. And as you continue to walk, you're going to see the Haunted Mansion to your left. Remember, during Christmas time, it does change. Halloween and Christmas, the theme is changed to Nightmare Before Christmas, and it will last that full time from the Halloween season throughout the Christmas season. So as you continue to walk, you'll see that you will reach Tiana's ride to your left, formerly known as Splash Mountain. So if you ever went there before and you are looking for Splash Mountain, it is no longer there. It's now Tiana's ride. So that is a very fast-paced ride, and you will get wet. I repeat, you will be soaked if you sit in like the first 2 to 3 seats. So I did that one time. I sat in the second seat. I was soaked. I was miserable for the next like 5 or 6 hours. So don't do that if you don't want to get wet. Sit in rows 4, 5, or sit in seat 4, 5, or 6. And as you can see, Mark Twain's boat goes all the way around, and those are canoes down below. That's a separate ride as well. I suggest doing it all if you have time. The canoes hardly ever have a very long wait time, so make sure you take advantage of these. And right next to Tiana, the entrance to Tiana's ride is going to be the Winnie the Pooh ride, tucked back there in the corner. And typically the wait time hadn't been very long, but since Tiana's back there now, it is a little bit longer. So as you continue to walk, you will just follow that path. There's only one way that you can go if you just continue along with the water on your right hand side, and you will end up in Star Wars Land. Star Wars Land is the newest land at Disneyland, but it is the most iconic, beautiful, realistic movie land that you can find. You will feel like you have been transported into a Star Wars movie, or at least to another planet. I know that I've never actually fully watched a Star Wars movie. I know, I just haven't. But what I have seen, the further you get into Star Wars land, the more you'll start to feel like you're in one of the movies. So the first ride that you'll encounter coming from this way, that was actually Rise of the Resistance. That is the big ride in Star Wars Land. That is probably the most popular, longest wait time ride that you will find in this park. Um, it's it's unique because of the structure of the ride. So before actually sitting in the seat, you get to experience different components to the ride. So I highly suggest, I recommend anybody try it. The wait time, if you see 45 minutes, that's actually a good wait time for this one. So I would definitely recommend trying it. And I would also suggest that if you've made it all the way back to this part of the park and the wait time's super long, or it's increased from the time you started heading that way, you should just walk right on through here and go to the Millennium Falcon ride, because that one's really fun. And there's also a single rider line, which I've done a million times, and I've never waited more than at the most 15 minutes. But this is a cute area. It's all on par with the theme. So you'll have your restrooms, You have a restaurant in here, and then of course there are a couple little shops on the sides where you can buy some merch. If you are a Star Wars fan, highly suggest checking it out. This is not the only place where you can get food or merch, but this is just one of the places that I happen to capture in this video. Now remember, anytime you're going to Disneyland, make sure that, I would say, take a refillable water bottle, but just take a water bottle at the very least. Everybody has a little backpack or something to carry. Pack you some snacks because you will get hungry and you may not want to purchase snacks every single time. If you can, sunglasses or a sun visor or hat. Definitely wear comfy shoes. Every time I go to Disneyland, it's rare that I leave with less than 20,000 steps. You will be walking. Even if you take the train or the monorail, you will do a lot of walking, or at the very least standing in lines. So as you walk through these parks, enjoy it all. It's so picturesque. Don't be afraid to take pictures. If you see the cast members, which are the people who are working there, don't hesitate to ask them to take your picture. They will do it and they don't mind. This is that Millennium Falcon ride that I mentioned earlier. Make sure you get ears if you can. Wear a shirt. You don't even have to buy it at Disneyland, but if you have matching shirts with your party, that's always really cool and really fun. Everybody there is so carefree and just embracing their inner child. Have a great time while you're there. And one last thing before I go, this open door to the left, that's Oga's Cantina. You can find more information on the app, but that's one of the places where they sell adult beverages. And I've never been inside of it. There's usually a wait time and it's really discreet to get in, but that is where it's located. Check in the app and make sure you download that Disneyland app. It's going to tell you wait times for rides and exactly where you can find things. I hope you found this video helpful and I hope that you enjoy your time. Who knows, we may even run into each other there. But most of all, leave any questions or comments down below. I would love to answer those for you. Have a great time and I'll see you in the next video.